unhealthy comparisons, and I do like the fact that you don't fall victim to this,
Mm,
because normally when we have unhealthy comparisons, you got to just think about the perspective that you have never walked a day in that person's shoes and vice versa, and you don't know the trials and tribulations, the resources another person has. So it's the worst thing you can do to yourself. If you value yourself, never try to compare your value with somebody else, because everyone's value is unique. But
mhm,
also I do see, and this is coming from the practice that I do, I see a lot of people, unfortunately, having the rule that things have to be almost perfect or perfect. And I believe that's the number one rule that causes a lot of these internal pressures. Because, like, for example, in your case, you're competitive with yourself. You're not harming
mhm,
yourself. You just want to better yourself every day.
mhm.
But like you said, what is the finish line? But
Yeah.
the question is, why should there be a finish line? Why isn't, like, instead of having just trying to go to one narrow path with one door, why not open the possibilities that you have infinite doors?
Mm,
That it's okay to step to any of them, because no matter what you do, you're always going to gather knowledge. And that's your biggest win. Even if you fail, you're going to gather that experience. And that walk in life is going to serve you. And also think about failure as that stepping stone to resilience. And you are such a young lady that, to be honest, you have such a bright future, because you've been able
I
to
appreciate
take,
that.
you've been able to take not only your fear, not only your anxiety, but you've been able to also be honest with yourself. That's how you start.
Mm, mhm.
This is who I am, and I'm okay with being this today. And my comparison is, how was I yesterday? Am I better today? And
Right.
then, that's my question. How often do you celebrate when you measure yourself to that past and you say, like, oh my God, like, for example, you just posted on LinkedIn, I'm a sophomore now.
Right. You're right.
Celebration, right? You're embracing your true self and your full potential too.
Mhm.
How do you feel every time you celebrate your victory?
Yeah. I definitely say like it takes a lot to even do that, like to, celebrate what you're doing, because sometimes you can just think like it's always like, oh, like maybe I should just stop. Like people, it's like no one really wants to hear what you're doing. No one really cares. Like just keep like just sometimes I don't really want to like, but then it's like you have to just get past that. So I think like I have to like acknowledge that I did do something. Like I did work hard to earn this. So like why not celebrate myself? Because if I don't, who's gonna do it for me? And it's not even just like validation looking for others. It's just that like appreciating the hard work. Because if I don't acknowledge that, I may forget about that. I may not even, for example, like that came in August, I think that was August 4th, and I had looked at my email. I was like, oh wait, let me talk about this. Like let me remember it for myself so that it kind of encourages me to, remind myself to do better, like, and keep going for the next semester, because, it's kind of documenting like what I'm trying to do, like why I joined, why I did, why I like, why I'm here in the first place. Why am I a university student? Why did I apply as a senior in high school? What, it kind of reminds you of what you're doing. So I think that's what I feel. I, yeah, I feel accomplished, but it's like sometimes it is hard to say that because it's like with trying to be ambitious, it's like you're not really trying to say you feel like accomplished seems like you've done it all. And I don't want to feel accomplished. I just want to just propel myself forward. I just want to like acknowledge my wins for the present moment and then move on, if that makes sense. So
Mm,
I think documenting it helps with that because now that I documented it, I can move on to the next thing, if that makes sense.
and definitely,
Mhm.
definitely makes sense, because you also have to celebrate your pauses too.
Mm,
Because remember, for every stage of climbing a mountain, you also have to rest. You have to plan, you have to think, you have to also analyze what you're leaving behind. And I think that's also one of the hardest things in for any of us, It's like when you climb another summit, you have to your the luggage that all these tools you had in the luggage serve you to climb to that summit, but now there's a new summit. Now you need new tools, and there's some tools that are not going to be useful for you.
Mhm.
So you have to take them out of you have to be brave enough to know what they are, which one you have to remove. So now you can improve your tools for the next client. And celebrating those pauses, I believe is what's the hardest for anyone that's ambitious.
Mhm.
Any one of us. Me and Kevin talk about is like we can't stop, right? And
Really.
you have to at
Right.
some point you have to, because how do you strategize if you don't
Yeah.
stop?
That is true. Yeah. That's good. You definitely have to have like those pauses, like you're saying, to like even reflect. Like sometimes I can't even like for example, today I put on my to-do list to write some poetry, but I was not in the mental capacity to write poetry. Like sometimes I may want to do it, but you have to give yourself time to think, have, like you said, have new experiences. I need to have something to pull from. I can't just like, that's how I think, like that's what makes us human, right? Like with AI, like maybe they're just pulling from humanness, but as a human, we need time, we need experiences, we need dialogue, we need things to, things to pull from. So I really appreciated that you said that. Because for creativity, you definitely need to have time alone. I think isolation and like also pulling from experience of what you're, in the social world, but there's a lot of things that we can generate experiences from that create beautiful things, if that makes sense. Like if we have time to ourselves, time to reflect, time to analyze, and also like that goes for accomplishments as well. Like maybe I needed time for that to soak in, for me to actually then talk about it. Maybe it's not an instant, congratulations for me. Maybe I need some time to like acknowledge my win. So I think that speaks volumes. Yeah.
Help us continue to embrace these human experiences and explore more about ourselves and others by just subscribing. If you like our content, definitely like, comment, share it. But also, if you want to be part of our podcast, all you have to do is leave a comment and tell us what you want to talk about. Remember, this is the platform for the people, and we're here to explore those life experiences that are very unique to you and to everyone else. Don't forget to subscribe.